Hello, my name is Valentine and I like to draw. So today I'm going to draw 26 animals in 26 minutes. I think it'll be a very fun time, so let's do this. So the goal of this is to draw 26 different animals with each of their first letters beginning with the alphabet, and to draw each of them in 60 seconds or less. First up we have the axolotl, or the so-called Mexican walking fish. They are pretty cool and come in different colors ranging from brown to gray to green, but most people know them as those pretty pink salamanders. This is why I'm using a reddish color to draw the axolotl, but you can't really see this because the camera quality is kind of bad, and I didn't realize it at the time, but don't you worry, that'll be fixed very soon. But perhaps one of the coolest things about axolotls is that they are masters of regeneration and can regrow their body organs and limbs up to 5 times per limb. This is so cool that scientists are studying the regenerative superpowers of the axolotl to help humans heal their wounds. Also, what I'm drawing here is obviously not the most accurate representation of what the axolotl actually looks like, but hopefully it's somewhat recognizable. As I'm drawing this, I realized I should give each animal their own names because they have personality, so everyone meet Axel the axolotl. And there we have it, our first animal drawn in 56 seconds. Not too bad. Next up we have the bee. Bees are great because they pollinate and help plants grow like flowers, fruits, and vegetables. Of course, they're most famous for producing honey, and each bee can actually only make about 1/12 of a teaspoon in its lifetime. It sounds like a tiny amount, but it is a team effort. In one day, 252 bees can make 1 teaspoon of honey, and a hive of 50,000 bees can produce 5.4 gallons of honey in a year. That's a lot of bees. And if you're wondering how many flowers they need to forage to make a good amount of honey, bees need to collect nectar from 2 million flowers in order to make 1 pound of honey a year. So they really are one of the most hardworking creatures on this planet. And there we have our bee, drawn in 49 seconds. We'll name her Betty. Holy crab! It's a crab! Crabs are really cool. They've got a tough outer shell for a body and a bunch of legs. Like 10 of them. And 2 of them are their pinchers so that they can grab food and also attack other creatures if they're being mean to them, so don't mess with crabs. Also, fun fact, I really wanted to get a pet hermit crab when I was younger because they're just so darn cute, and I thought they were just tiny crabs. But I recently learned that hermit crabs are not actually true crabs. They're actually closer to lobsters. And this is because they're just crustaceans that have longer, softer bodies and cannot grow their own shells, while real crabs have rock-hard bodies and are born with their shells. "47 seconds for this crab. We're going to name him Carl." You know what D stands for? It stands for donkey. I've actually never seen a donkey in real life. I've probably passed by them on the freeway many times, but never have I actually interacted with one. But maybe one day I'll get the opportunity to. Donkeys are really great. They're really smart, social, and calm. They are also really great at learning and remembering things. They can solve problems as quickly as dogs and dolphins can, and they're also very independent and can make decisions for themselves, so they won't do anything that they would consider unsafe. Also, you might think that donkeys are tiny horses, but they're actually not related to horses at all. They are a completely different species, and one way you can tell the difference between a horse and a donkey is the call they make. Horses make a high-pitched, whiny sound, while donkeys have a deep, throaty bray. And there we go. That's our donkey drawn in 57 seconds. We can name him David. So E stands for eel, and eels are interesting because they are flat, slender-looking fish, and you might even call them elongated. Although they look related to snakes, they are actually not related to snakes at all. Eels are fish that have evolved to survive in holes and small spaces, and they have fins and gills like a fish normally would have. Snakes are just snakes, and eels can't live outside of water, like how most snakes can't live in water. But eels do swim in a similar movement as the snake. They move their whole body like a rolling wave, and what's also cool is that eels can swim backwards just by reversing the direction of the wave they create with their bodies. And that is the eel in 53 seconds. That's fine, I guess. Let's name her Elsa. F is for frogs. Everyone loves frogs. You can even say that frogs are trendy and have been prevalent in popular culture for a while now because they are part of the romanticism and cottagecore aesthetic, especially with their presence in nature and in fairy tales. And frogs, in general, are very respectful looking creatures. They are actually the first land animals to have vocal cords. Male frogs have vocal sacs that sound like a microphone when they resonate, and some frog sounds can be heard from a mile away. Frogs also have excellent night vision. That's why they have bulging eyes that allow them to see in the front, sides, and partially behind them. Okay, so we've drawn this frog in 47 seconds, which is great. Let's name this frog Frank. Here we have another popular and trendy animal, the goat. People like goats because they're entertaining, playful, and friendly animals. I personally never saw the appeal in goats. I think as long as they are friendly and respectful, then I'm good. One thing I admire about goats is that they are great at diets. They are actually very picky eaters and only ever eat grass and tree bark, which are the most accessible and nutritious offerings they can find no matter where they are. This is why you don't find goats living in the desert or the ocean. In fact, goats actually hate the rain. You will always likely find them dry because through evolution, they have evolved to prefer being dry since water could get them exposed to parasites. Which is terrible, and I would not want that for them or myself. Okay, 46 seconds for this one. Let's name her Grace. Right, H is for horse. There are so many things about horses that make them super well known. We know that they can be super athletic and have lightning fast reflexes. Since they are a prey animal, horses need to react quickly in fight or flight situations. Their reaction time is actually less than 1 second, which is faster than a human's reaction time. Horses are very intelligent animals and can learn human words. If you become close to a horse, they can remember you even if you have been away from them for a long time. Horses are also very social animals and would never live alone by choice. They have evolved to live in herds and love spending time with those they have formed friendships with, partly because they feel more safe and comfortable when around them. Okay, 54 seconds. Let's name her Henrietta. Iguanas are interesting. They are very long lizards that can grow to be 20 or more years old. If a predator tries to grab iguanas by their tails, they can actually break their tails off to escape. Their tails may grow back if it was a clean cut, but otherwise they will just have to live without a tail. Iguanas also really like it hot and sticky. They mostly like areas with warm climates where there is 90-degree weather all year long, which I can't imagine. They truly worship the sun and like to soak in UV light and vitamin D into their skin, which helps them absorb food better. Iguanas are also herbivores. They love their vegetables and fruits since they contain a lot of calcium, which is the most important nutrition for their health. They can also swim and can hold their breath for up to 30 minutes. Okay, cool. This iguana was drawn in 52 seconds. Let's name this one Isaac. Now we have the jellyfish. I think jellyfish are so cool even though they literally don't have a brain, bones, teeth, blood, or fins. In fact, because they don't have fins, they technically aren't fish. Many scientists refer to them as gelatinous zooplankton. They are made up of body bags that are over 95% water, and they use their stinging cells to catch and sting prey, which are mostly tiny swimming creatures like planktons and krill. Okay, we drew this one in 32 seconds. Let's name her Jennifer. Next up, we have the koala. Koalas are iconic Australian animals that have very large heads and big fluffy ears, and they actually don't have tails. They love trees and use their strong paws to climb. They only eat one thing, which is leaves from a very specific eucalyptus tree, and because that's the only thing they eat, they don't really get too many nutrients or energy. Because of this, koalas spend a lot of time just sitting or sleeping on trees. They resemble a small bear, but they're actually not bears. They are marsupials like kangaroos and possums, but they are just round mammals that look like a bear. We finished drawing this koala in 42 seconds. We can name him Kevin. I have to admit, for the first 20 years of my life, I didn't know the difference between a llama and an alpaca because they just look so similar. I literally thought they were the same animal for the longest time. And then I learned that the difference between them is how big they are, and they also have very different personalities. Alpacas are small, gentle, and shy, while llamas are big and super confident and quirky. They are also not afraid to tell you their boundaries. Llamas have adapted to live in a harsh environment and can carry up to 200 pounds for a whole day. And that was 45 seconds. Let's name her Lila. Moose are huge. I also just learned that the correct plural of moose is moose, so we're just gonna say moose. Moose are the biggest animal in the deer family. They are absolute weather champions, but they mostly like areas that have cold, snowy weather. On hot days, they spend a lot of their time swimming in rivers to keep their body temperature cool. They also eat a lot of food, like up to 70 pounds of food every day. Male moose have antlers that are used to fight other males when they are competing for mates. Female moose don't actually have antlers because I guess they have nothing to fight for really. Adult moose also don't have many predators since they're so huge. 39 seconds. I think this guy's name is Moose. I'm pretty sure moose can be a proper noun. This animal has one of the weirdest names ever. Newts are small amphibians that are like a salamander. They are like a hybrid between a frog and a lizard, and most of them have smooth and moist skin. Like axolotls, they also have regeneration powers. Newts can lose their limbs and grow them back. And we drew this in 33 seconds. I want to name her Nancy. Now we have the ostrich. Not gonna lie, ostriches kind of scare me because they're just these giant fat birds that can run super fast. Ostriches are large birds that cannot fly and are the heaviest and largest living birds. Instead, they are built to run with their long, thick, powerful legs. To help them run even faster, both of their feet only have 2 toes. You may be wondering, if they can't fly, why do they have wings? Well, I am here to tell you that ostriches have wings because it helps them balance when they run. They also use their wings to show dominance and power. And there we go, 41 seconds. I think this one gives Otis vibes. Next we have P for penguins, another bird that can't fly. Instead, their wings have evolved specifically for swimming, so technically they can fly, just only underwater. Their wings are actually flippers, which can help them swim. Also, penguins are black and white because it helps them with camouflage. Penguins have white bellies so that when they're in the water, predators can't distinguish them from the sky above. Their backs are black so that they can blend in with the darker water below them, so predators that are flying above them will actually have a hard time seeing them in the water. 33 seconds. Not bad, not bad. I think his name is Paul. Q is for quokka. The quokka is another famous Australian animal and are known as the world's happiest animal because of their natural smile. They move around by hopping with their small feet and short tails. They are also marsupials, which means they can carry their babies in little pouches. Quokkas are also peaceful creatures that love sharing spaces. They are not super territorial and can happily coexist with each other, so much that they would go around and say hello to everyone around them. Although they are happy to see us most of the time, they are still wild animals and can bite, so all we can do is just watch how cute they are from a distance. And there you have it, a quokka drawn in 34 seconds. I think we can name this one Quincy. Next we have the rabbit. Rabbits are fluffy, hopping creatures that have long ears and can rotate them 180 degrees, allowing them to pinpoint the exact location of a sound. Rabbits also have big buck teeth that never stop growing. which can actually be very problematic since having overgrown teeth can make it frustrating for them to chew and swallow. Rabbits need a combination of nutritious and chewable food, like twigs, branches, and dry leaves, to keep their teeth healthy. Rabbits are also meticulously clean animals. They hate being dirty and spend a majority of their days grooming and washing themselves. 37 seconds. I think this little rabbit looks like a Rory. Shrimp! I love shrimp. Shrimps are swimming crustaceans that have incredibly small brains and 10 legs. They are also very high in selenium, which is an antioxidant mineral that fights cancer-causing free radicals. Shrimp's diets are also very simple. They eat small floating organisms and plants. They are also an important part of the marine ecosystem in that they are scavengers, so they eat carcasses and decaying matter. There are also cleaner shrimp that help other fish and marine animals get rid of parasites by eating them. 34 seconds. That is a very good time, I think. This shrimp looks like a Sean. Next, we have another aquatic creature, the turtle. Turtles are famous for being able to grow super old and are some of the oldest reptiles in the world. Turtles can't come out of their shells, but their shells are super tough shields that protect them from predators. When they are feeling extra shy, they can tuck their heads inside their shell for extra protection. A turtle's shell is part of its skeleton and is made up of over 50 bones. 23 seconds. Let's name this turtle Todd. We've got another aquatic animal, the urchin. Urchins don't have eyes or bones and have 5 teeth that will eat anything that floats by, like plankton, kelp, and algae. They are covered in spines that help protect them from predators. Urchins also have some sensitive feet that allow them to sense their surroundings and detect changes in the water currents. 18 seconds. I think this is the fastest animal I've drawn. Let's name this one Alyssa with a U. Vultures! These bald birds don't have any feathers on their heads so that they can keep themselves clean when eating. They are known as scavengers that feed on carcasses. Very gross, but by doing this, vultures become a huge help in preventing the spread of dangerous diseases and bacteria that could come up from carcasses. They can eat carcasses without suffering from food poisoning because their stomachs have strong acids and enzymes that can kill toxins and microorganisms. So when they eat carcasses, vultures will often put their bald heads completely inside carcasses to clean them up more efficiently. We drew this vulture in 37 seconds. Let's name him Victor. Alright, we are getting close. Whales! Whales are very graceful and mysterious creatures. The blue whale is the largest animal that ever lived on Earth, and they have the biggest brain of any animal. Whales are also among the longest-lived mammals. The bowhead whale can live for over 200 years, and killer whales can live for more than 100 years. The sperm whale is actually the loudest animal on Earth. They are so loud that they can physically blow out a human's eardrums and could even vibrate the human body to death, if heard in close proximity. Despite how large they are, whales eat some of the smallest prey on Earth. For most of their lives, whales eat krill, and they can consume up to 3 tons of krill every day. And we drew this whale in 38 seconds. Let's name her Wendy. Okay, I had to get a little creative for this letter. This is the X-ray tetra. It is a tiny fish that's called X-ray tetra because its body is translucent, so it's basically invisible. This comes in handy because it makes it much more difficult for predators to spot these fishies among the shimmering water of the ocean. X-ray tetras can grow up to 1 to 2 inches or 3 to 5 centimeters long. Baby X-ray tetras are called fry. In general, these fish are very peaceful and can share their habitats with other species. And in 29 seconds, we have a new friend. Let's name him Xander. We are almost to the end. Y is for yellowfin tuna. Yellowfin tuna are shaped like torpedoes and have dark metallic blue backs, yellow sides, and a silver belly. Aside from being a very popular commercial species in the raw sashimi market, these fish are also a top predator in the marine food chain, which helps maintain a balance in the ocean's ecosystem. The yellowfin tuna is one of the fastest swimmers in the ocean because when they get oxygen from water, they have to pass water over their gills. So they must always be swimming forward with their mouths open so they can keep getting oxygen. And that is the yellowfin tuna in 33 seconds. We can name her Yuna. Last but not least, we have the zebra. Zebras are known for their mesmerizing black and white stripes. Their stripes are like human fingerprints, as every zebra has a unique stripe pattern. Zebra stripes can also help them camouflage themselves from predators because, when they are in herds, their stripes help create an illusion that there are no individual silhouettes, just a bunch of stripes in one area. This makes it more difficult for predators to identify them. These cool creatures are also herbivores and spend most of their days eating grass, twigs, and bark. You can always find them living together in large groups because they are very social animals. And in 41 seconds, we have drawn our final animal. I think his name is Zach. And there we have it, all 26 animals drawn in under a minute each. I don't think I would ever do this again in my entire life, but it was a fun challenge. And now I know a bunch of random animal facts. And you do too. Cool. And I guess that's it. Bye, I guess.